Have you ever heard about Miligram? Or have you ever heard about alien stage? If you didn't, then I'll explain to you in this video. Yahoo minasan! This is Yuki, your reality simulation view elf, and today I'm going to explain to you these multimedia projects, Miligram and Alien Stage. So let's start. To begin with, Alien Stage is a Korean multimedia project of 11 videos so far. Each one is between 22 seconds and 4.5 minutes, and we have 6 main characters: Till, Ivan, Luca, Mizi, Sua, and Hyuna. And the setup of the story is actually that we live in a world where aliens had done a full takeover of the full galaxy, including Earth, and humans are treated as total slaves. And basically humans were most of the cases banned from reproducing naturally. Even if you have a mother or a brother, you get eventually separated or maybe sold as an item to an alien who owns you and who decides what to do with you. Since you are like an exotic animal, there are not so many humans left in the whole galaxy, and they are there for the solo entertainment of these really rich and somehow influential aliens. In other way to see it, humans became the aliens in a galaxy where there are not so many of them. The story starts with one successful experiment where aliens produce an artificial human. The first one is Luca. And the fact that he's so perfect that he does exactly what they want makes them wish for more. And that's when they start fishing for more humans from Earth and kidnapping them and enslaving them in order to raise them since they were kids for this battle royale, like singing battle royales. The main point about this performance that if they lose, they don't just lose this competition against the other person, they lose their life. And you will see in these music videos a lot of interesting details. Like, honestly, you can never grab every single detail from the first time you watch it. You will have to watch 2, 3, 5, 6 times and read the analysis by the fans, different theories, all sorts of new information popping up, the great levels of symbolism that goes in, and you can never get enough. Because, like, in the end of the day, you will choose which theory to believe in. You cannot believe in all of them. Some of them might be contradictory. But I personally was very much mind-blown by every single one. I couldn't believe the level of symbolism that artists like Vivinos and Kiming and also Studio Liko had put into this project. So you might have a favorite. You might have your own hot take on some characters, you might curse at others, you might support certain shippings. I feel like all the shippings in this particular show are valid, except Luca Mizi. If somebody supports Luca Mizi, we have a very difficult conversation. That doesn't exist. Any other ship, it's okay, it's there, yeah. Meanwhile, we have Miligram. And Miligram is a Japanese project, unlike Alien Stage, which is a Korean animation project. Milgram has been going on since April 2020, and it's still going on. It's an interactive music project created by Deco27 and Yamanaka Takuya. The project is divided into 3 trials. Okay, so a brief overall explanation is again spoiler-free. Milgram have a completely different setting from Alien Stage. And to make it more clear, Milgram is a prison. And in this prison, there were 10 people held. And every single person of these 10 people is a hitogoroshi, a person killer. Like, they kill at least somebody. And these 10 characters, these 10 people, they come from totally different backgrounds, different age groups, genders, everything. You have a doctor there, you have a high schooler, like a number of high schoolers, you have even an elementary schooler there, salaryman. Each album will be released along with a music video and a voice drama that takes place in the interrogation before the MV extraction. So these 10 people who killed the person, they were all detained in this prison called Miligram. And the way it works is that main director of this prison, she's a rabbit called Jack Palot, has hired a prison guard. This prison guard is called S, who's a younger boy. It's not exactly clear, but it's somebody who's fairly young, who has also experience working as prison guard elsewhere, but certainly not in a special place like Miligram. And their directive, like the order they received, was that you will have an interrogation with each person and you will have the power to make this person sing their sins. So they create a music video from their memories based on their own emotions and actions, where they tell you their own version of the story. And this will happen like over 3 times. Like, you will interview them in interrogation, they will sing their sins, there will be a judgment phase, and the judgment phase is like an interactive game. So real life people are gonna vote whether they think this person is guilty or not guilty. And the verdict here is kind of unique, because when you say this person is guilty or not guilty, it doesn't deny the fact that they still killed the person for sure, but it's whether you forgive them or you don't forgive them. Yurusu, Yurusinai. So based on their own circumstance and their own POV of the events, do you think this person deserves to be forgiven and to be let out in society again? Or no, you think this person should be tortured and they should be locked here forever? And S is told to make this kind of a judgment. He's a prison guard and he should make this judgment based on his own perspective, ethics, beliefs, experience, theories, whatever. The main characters in Miligrams are Haruka, Yuno, Futa, Mu, Shido, Kazui, Amane, Mikoto, Kotoko. If I have to give my own favorites and why, I would say first of all, I would say Kazui, because Kazui's story is definitely unique. I love his jazz style of songs. It can distinguish him, and it's kind of understandable because he's a middle-aged guy, so they give him jazz style, and also it's related to his background story, like why was he convicted at the end of the day, what is his crime exactly. And my other second favorite character, I would say Mikoto. Mikoto is a really intriguing character. You find a lot of people creating many theories about him because I think he's the hardest to decipher for a very good reason, because he has multiple personalities. And when I say multiple personalities, it's not, believe me, it's not as obvious as my sound. Like you will sound like, you will absolutely entice he has double personalities, but for me to realize he has more than two personalities, I had to read through a bunch of theories which talk about a third character who regulates this and how does it switch between different three characters of Mikoto, and why such a good salaryman, somebody who's so hardworking and nice to others and nice to his mother, end up killing somebody. That's a big question. You need to discover it too. My last favorite character is Mahiru. I mean, I can understand to a certain extent the hate that Mahiru is receiving from fans, but I feel like they are not really putting themselves in her shoes enough. And mainly because the judgment that was passed on her is from an external point of view. I feel like if you were literally in that position with that kind of mindset, it's really hard to see yourself as a wrong person. It's hard to see why it's wrong to love somebody to that extent and to put so much effort into being with that person. I'm not gonna say more, otherwise it's gonna turn into some form of spoiler. I would recommend absolutely watching investigation episodes. They are all translated by fans recently on YouTube for free. You don't need to pay any money for that. Also, the music videos, all of them have translations. Past years, basically, it was not accessible enough because there was no translation and it had little popularity. But nowadays, I see a lot of fan theories on TikTok, a lot of cosplays on TikTok too. So I can see why now it's getting more and more popular, especially with the rise of Alien Stage. I feel like people were thinking like, where can I find something similar to this? Something that is mind-blowing, makes you look up social issues, theories, try to understand different perspectives, and read more and more into it. I mean, I feel like Miligram is, don't get me over this statement, Miligram is much more complex than Alien Stage. But if you are a hardcore fan of Alien Stage, I enjoy it too. I'm multi-fandom fan everywhere. So another important thing I found out while researching Miligram, that Miligram experiment itself is a real-life experiment that was created in 1961, and it is a series of social psychological experiments that were done to measure the willingness of study participants to obey an authority figure who instructed them to perform acts conflicting with their personal consciousness. And this reminds me strongly of S situation. Like S had no background information when he joined Miligram, and he's forced in a situation where he has to make judgments that were clearly against his own code of morals and ethics. Like, he was not even sure what is his own moral ethics, but eventually it feels like he's getting more and more into gray zones, and I have good feeling that S is gonna rebel against Jack Follow. This is my own prediction based on the new art released for the third trial. Another thing I might have forgot to mention is that the first and the second trials are all out currently, all the investigations, all the music videos for every single character. So every single character now has 2 music videos and at least 2 investigation recordings translated. But the third trial is coming out soon, and the art of the third trial is already out, so you see the changes in the character, their situations, and apparently some really big drama happening, and I'm really looking forward to that. Matane!